Good morning. Congratulations. If everyone would please stand for a moment of reflection. Let's observe a moment of silence to reflect on the different paths that brought us together today to honor our graduates. Your families, your friends, our distinguished guests, and our UNCG faculty and staff have come together today to celebrate with you on this joyous day. So let's have a silent moment to reflect on the wonderful events of this day. Now please join us in singing America the Beautiful. Please be seated. Thank you. I am so delighted to be with you today. Delighted because it's graduation day, and what a wonderful day that is. Wouldn't you agree? Congratulations to all the graduates and their families and friends, the faculty, staff, and administration of UNCG are so proud of you for achieving this milestone in your education and in your career. I have the distinct honor of introducing our Chancellor today, Chancellor Linda Brady. Dr. Brady became our 10th Chancellor of UNCG in August 2008, and we are very proud to have her at the helm of our university. During the past 5 years of Chancellor Brady's leadership, UNCG has received numerous awards and recognitions, including being recognized by Forbes as Best Buy University, inclusion on the Princeton Review's Best Colleges list, characterized as a military-friendly school on the 2012 GI Jobs list, and continues to be lauded as a school that strongly contributes to the public good. Our Chancellor has helped us to do that. Not only has Dr. Brady provided so much to UNCG, she has also become a leader and a friend of the Greensboro and Triad communities, serving on board of directors of the Greensboro Partnership, as founding member of Opportunity Greensboro and as an active member of the Greensboro Rotary. Chancellor Brady is a native New Yorker. Like some of you, she was the first in her family to attend college. She received her undergraduate degree at Douglas College and her master's degree and doctorate in political science at Rutgers University and Ohio State University, respectively. Before coming here, she was vice president and provost of the University of Oregon, dean of humanities and social sciences at North Carolina State University, chair of the Sam Nunn School of International Affairs in Georgia, and served as an analyst for the U.S. Departments of State and of Defense. As an individual, as a professional, she has received numerous awards and recognitions and distinctions as a civilian, a leader, and a teacher. Dr. Brady, we are certainly glad that you found your way through many distinguished paths to the campus of the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. Thank you for being our leader, our teacher, and our friend. I could go on and on about Dr. Brady, but now is the time for the Chancellor to talk to you, the most important persons in the room whom she holds at the center of her focus, the students of UNCG, you, the graduates. So please join me in welcoming to the podium our Chancellor, Dr. Linda Brady.
Thank you so much, Patty. Patty is an exceptional leader of our faculty, and I want to acknowledge all of the faculty who have joined us today for this wonderful occasion. Welcome to everyone. Thank you all so much for sharing in this significant moment in the lives of our graduates, their families and friends, this university, and the Greensboro community. Today we gather to celebrate academic excellence and student success. This ceremony marks the end of one chapter in the lives of our students and the beginning of another. It is a time for reflection and a time for hopes and dreams. The University of North Carolina at Greensboro stands apart, not only because of our outstanding academic programs and our dedicated faculty and staff, but by the difference our people make. At this university, what matters in addition to what is taught and learned is how the lessons learned are carried forward locally and around the nation and the world. The students who receive their degrees today will use their creativity and sense of purpose to make this a better world. Congratulations to all of our students on what you have already accomplished, and best wishes for success and happiness in the years ahead. I'd like now to acknowledge members of the platform party who are with us today to celebrate with you. Would the following individuals please stand and remain standing as I call your names so that we may recognize you. Mr. Ed McMahon, representing the Board of Governors of the University of North Carolina. Mr. Jeffrey Collins, class of 1984, president of the UNCG Alumni Association. Dr. Jerry Wayne Laughlin, August doctoral degree recipient and speaker for the December class of 2013. Dr. Susan Letvak, commencement speaker. Ms. Crystal Benson, tassel turner, representing the December class of 2013. Ms. Anna Batista, bell ringer, representing the December class of 2013. Mrs. Patricia Clontz West, bell ringer, representing the 50th reunion class of 1963. Members of the UNCG Board of Trustees who are with us today: Ms. Frances Bullock, Ms. Linda Carlisle, Ms. Vanessa Carroll, Mr. Ward Russell, Ms. Susan Safran, and Ms. Crystal Bain, who also serves as president of the Student Government Association. Mr. David Sprinkle, representing the UNCG Board of Trustees for the conferring of degrees. Dr. Daniel Winkler, faculty marshal and mace bearer. And Dr. Patricia Sink, chair of the Faculty Senate. Please join me in thanking all of these individuals for being here today. The education that students receive at UNCG would be impossible without the service of hundreds of dedicated faculty and staff. The officers I'm about to introduce are integral to the success of the university and the success of our students. Would the following individuals please stand and remain standing as I call your names? Dr. David Perrin, Provost and Executive Vice Chancellor. Dr. Cherry Callahan, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs. Mr. Reed Taylor, Vice Chancellor for Business Affairs. Dr. Janice Sink, Vice Chancellor for University Advancement. Dr. James Klontfelter, Vice Chancellor for Information Technology Services. Dr. Terry Shelton, Vice Chancellor for Research and Economic Development. Dr. Laura Chesick, Associate Dean of the Graduate School. Dr. Steve Robertson, Dean of Undergraduate Studies. Dr. Timothy Johnston, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Dr. McRae Banks, Dean of the Joseph M. Bryan School of Business and Economics. Dr. Karen Wixon, Dean of the School of Education. Dr. Celia Hooper, Dean of the School of Health and Human Sciences. Dr. Peter Alexander, Dean of the School of Music, Theater, and Dance. Dr. James Ryan, Dean of the Joint School of Nanoscience and Nanoengineering. Dr. Robin Remsburg, Dean of the School of Nursing. Dr. James Eddy, Dean of the Division of Continual Learning. Ms. Roseanne Bezirjan, Dean of the University Libraries. Dr. Jerry Pubance, Dean of the Lloyd International Honors College. Ms. Imogene Cathy, General Counsel of the university. Mr. Michael Tarrant, Director of Strategic Initiatives. Ms. Benita Brown, Chief of Staff. And Ms. Betty Betts, Co-Chair of the Staff Senate. Please join me in thanking all of these individuals who work day in and day out on your behalf.
Good morning. Chairman Sprinkle, Chancellor Brady, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, and students of the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, with a very special recognition of the class of 2013, who will receive degrees today, their family and friends and members of the community, ladies and gentlemen. I am truly honored to have this opportunity to bring greetings on behalf of the University of North Carolina Board of Governors and our President, Thomas Ross. During this joyous season, we hear the faculty and staff caroling about the accomplishments of another successful graduating class, and we hear parents rejoicing over their accomplishments. On behalf of the Chairman, Peter Hans, and the entire University of North Carolina Board of Governors and the General Administration, I offer my heartiest congratulations as you celebrate a significant accomplishment. Your degree represents hard work and dedication to a very worthy goal. You deserve to celebrate, but it is also important to acknowledge the contributions of the faculty and to express appreciation for the support of your parents and family. I am certain you agree how vital their encouragement has been for you. Graduates, the experiences learned during your time at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro will resonate with you throughout your life. Your education here at UNCG has provided you the knowledge and skills you will need to achieve success in these ever-changing, complex times. For now, your futures are beckoning you, and wherever your future endeavors may lead, we encourage you to stay connected with this wonderful university. We salute your hard work, applaud your accomplishments, and look forward to your contributions to our university, our state, and to our nation. So graduates, may this special moment live always in your heart. Congratulations and all the best to each of you. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Crystal Bain, President of the Student Government Association. On behalf of the student body, it gives me great pleasure to offer congratulations to the University of North Carolina at Greensboro graduating class of 2013. I come here today not to lecture you, but rather to speak as one of you and reflect on some of the experiences that you've all shared together. And so here you are at graduation after a few short or long years at an exceptional university. For many of you, it feels like just yesterday that you were moving into the freshman residence halls, wondering what the next few years were going to offer. After finding some friends from across the hall or in your new student groups, and finally figuring out your roommate, it wasn't long until the stress of your first ever college exams kicked in. And for most of you, that was probably the night before. It didn't take long to realize how different this chapter of your life was going to be in comparison to any other experience you had ever experienced before. You were finally on your own, no parents around to make sure you were getting your work done, no one hounding you to stay out of trouble, except for UNCG police, of course. The time had come for you to take responsibility for your actions and make your own decisions. I cannot begin to cover the lessons that you've learned in your years here at UNCG and the personal growth that you've all encountered, whether it was studying for those dreaded midterm exams, preparing for that class presentation, sitting through that long night class, spending what felt like an eternity trying to find a parking spot, or deciding the plans for Thursday night. You all had to do it together. I'm certain that lifelong friendships have been created and that the memories from your college years will be some of the best of your lives. A professor had once told me that when we look at the world around us, it's very difficult to find a good investment. However, the degree that you take with you today is one of the best investments that you will ever make. Your education will remain with you throughout your life and will pay lasting dividends to both you and to society. As Malcolm X once said, education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. After today, people will tell you, you're in the real world now, but the real world often seems real messed up. And so it's your destiny to go out into that world, to fulfill yourselves, to reach your full potential, and in doing so, make that real world a part of you. In short, make it real awesome. As college students, we're compelled by the duty inherent in our education to go out and improve on what came before, to serve a greater good. So for those sitting here in 2023, that real world might be a little less daunting. So I challenge you all with this. Do not leave this place fearlessly, but rather boldly, and with the knowledge that your footsteps echo with the boom of 18,000 others. You, the class of 2013, will step out together into that real world because you are UNCG Spartans. And no longer simply just Spartans, but a fellowship, a league of young adults, equipped, inspired, and ready to tackle that immense task which has been left to you, the real world. So on behalf of the University of North Carolina at Greensboro Student Government Association, congratulations, class of 2013, on a job well done. Let this day be a mere stepping stone for the next achievement that you wish to pursue. Good luck, and go Spartans!
My name is Jeff Collins, and on behalf of your UNCG Alumni Association, I would like to congratulate each of you for reaching this milestone in your life. I would like to thank and congratulate your families for the sacrifice and effort they have put into helping each of you get here today. The relationships you build in life connect you across generations. There are several members of this audience that have been friends of mine for decades. These relationships enabled me to be present on the very day some of you were born. These relationships enabled me to be present on some of your very first days of preschool. And these relationships enabled me to stand before you today, and I'm extremely honored to be here on this, the first day of the rest of each of your lives. As president, I want to let you know that when you walk out of here today, you're a 100% fully vested member of the UNCG Alumni Association. There are no forms to fill out, and there are no dues to pay. We welcome you, we understand where you have been, and we're proud of you. During your time as a student at UNCG, you have built relationships with a Spartan family of about 18,000. As of today, that family has grown by a multiple of 5. We're here to help you and support you in any way that we can. We want to help nurture the relationships you have built here. All we need from you is your best contact information. With that, we can connect you with fellow Spartans in your area, we can connect you with fellow Spartans in your major, and we can connect you with fellow Spartans in your profession. Please take advantage of these resources. You've earned them. A simple way to stay connected with your university is to like our Facebook page. The Alumni Association Facebook page, for every new like we get between now and Monday, we're going to have a contest for a special keepsake to help you remember your time as a student here at UNCG. So I would ask you to remember this special time in your life, remember the relationships you have built, and remember this place as you each go out to do something bigger all together. Thank you.
Good morning. What a great day to be a UNCG student. I'm Jerry Laughlin, and I'm representing all of you today. Thank you for being here today, and I hope I do you good justice up here as I share a few words with you. I'm excited and humbled to be standing in front of you today. Before I proceed too far, allow me to say congratulations and thank you to a few sets of individuals. First and most importantly, congratulations to all of you. You look great. I'm proud to be in front of you. I know you had to work hard to get to this day. Again, congratulations. Congratulations to the families and friends of today's graduates. I know you all had to give something for your friends, for your family members to arrive at this point. Congratulations to the faculty and staff at UNCG. Without your efforts, the individuals on the floor, including myself, would not arrive at this point either. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you to UNCG for allowing me to speak on behalf of the December class of 2013. What an honor. I will never forget this day. Thank you to Chancellor Brady and the Board of Trustees. I know that you've had to make some tough decisions over the last few years. Continue to put the students first, and I know this university will continue to flourish. Thank you to the School of Health and Human Sciences. I am proud to be associated with such a highly regarded school on this campus. Thank you to the Department of Kinesiology. I am a graduate of one of the best academic departments in this nation. The faculty, staff of the department continue to work hard, and I know the department will continue to prosper. Thank you to my dissertation committee, Dr. Catherine Ennis, Chair, Dr. Ong Chien, Dr. Paul Davis, and Dr. John Wilsey. I am standing here today due in large part to your time and interest in me. Finally, thank you to my family for supporting me throughout my educational and professional careers. Mom and Dad, I will never be able to repay you for the foundation you provided me. Thank you. As we close the book on this phase of our lives and reflect on our time at UNCG, I urge all of you to be lifelong learners. Even though this formal education is complete, never say no to an opportunity to learn something new. Some of you may go back to school one of these days. Some of you might participate in professional development at work. Some of you may travel to new places. Always look at your opportunities as learning opportunities, and I promise you, your days will be full. As my time in front of you comes to an end, I challenge each of you to compete every day. Not so that you win or lose, but so you have a chance to be great. Remember, competition is nothing more than an opportunity for you to achieve greatness, where you define greatness. We all had to compete to get to this day, and we all have to compete again in the future. Fight every day for your dreams, and only settle for second place when second place defines your definition of greatness. If you do, you are destined to be great, and you will have an impact on this great society. As I always tell my students at the end of semesters, I might not ever see you ever again, but I sincerely wish you all the best. Do not be afraid to overachieve. Do not be afraid to strive for greatness. Be awesome. Congratulations and thank you again. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
It is now my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker. Dr. Susan Letvak is a professor in the Department of Adult Health Nursing and the 2013 UNCG Alumni Teaching Excellence Award winner. This award is based on excellent teaching, a clear and compelling statement of one's teaching philosophy, and letters of recommendation and support from current and former students. Dr. Letvak came to UNCG in 2000 as an assistant professor. She was promoted to full professor in 2013 and also serves as the department head for the Department of Adult Health Nursing. Her research interests focus on the aging, health, safety of nurses, as well as patient safety and quality of care. Her primary teaching responsibilities are in the master's and doctoral programs in the School of Nursing. She especially enjoys web-based teaching and utilizing new and creative teaching strategies. But most important to her, she enjoys staying connected with former students all over the country and hearing of their many successes. I'm pleased to present Dr. Susan Letvak.
Good morning. I am humbled to be standing in front of all of you especially my esteemed colleagues, having won this teaching award. But I first must let you all know that I won this teaching award because of my online teaching skills. So excuse me if I'm a little startled to be standing here with all of you physically here with me. And this speech will be short. I have taught philosophy to our nursing doctoral students, and never forget that Socrates gave long speeches and his friends killed him. Today is a day of celebration. Like all of you parents in the audience, I am also the proud mother of a Spartan graduate. My son recently graduated with a chemistry science education degree, and I bring you all great hope because he is now happily employed as a teacher and finally off my payroll. Also, like many of you in this room, I was the first in my family to go to college and get a college degree. I was fortunate to receive a ROTC military scholarship so I could attend a 4-year college instead of having to go to a local hospital diploma program. My grandparents came to the United States from Poland, poor and uneducated, hoping for a better life for themselves and their future children. While my mother was born here, she started kindergarten barely able to speak English. My father was a small-town policeman, but from my earliest memories, I wanted to be a nurse. My dad would say, "Look at my life, rotating shifts, working weekends and most holidays, and dealing with people in the worst of times. Why would you want that?" And I would say with a big smile, "But that is what I want." I'm happy to say that this spring will mark 30 years as a registered nurse, and yes, that is still what I want. While I now also carry the titles of researcher, author, and professor, when I meet somebody new and they ask me what I do, it's without hesitation that I only respond, "I am a nurse," and I am proud to teach nurses at UNC Greensboro. So what can my 30 years in nursing teach you graduates? First, despite what your mother or grandmother told you about never going out with dirty, tattered underwear in case you get in an accident, I can tell you that no nurse ever said, "Oh my, ignore the bleeding, everybody, look at those underwear." Second, live a healthy lifestyle. You can no longer blame exam stress as the reason to eat an entire package of Oreo cookies and stay in the same pair of pajamas for 3 days. It's how you treat your body today that will determine how well you live later in life. Nobody living in a nursing home planned on being there. Third, listen to your intuition. In 2005, Malcolm Gladwell wrote an excellent book called Blink. It's all about the power of intuition, thinking without thinking, quickly figuring out what's important and acting decisively. Nurses hear all too often things like, "I knew I shouldn't have gone up on that ladder." Bottom line, do not discount your first impression and listen to your intuition. Fourth, get a second opinion. Nurses are often shocked at how trusting people can be. So when it comes to really important decisions with your health or with your life, take the time to hear at least one other person's opinion so your decisions are fully informed. Fifth, tell the people around you that you love them. Don't wait until you are standing at someone's hospital bed hoping they can hear you. And finally, listen to your elders. Take the time to sit, talk, and learn from the lessons they learned the hard way, and maybe you won't repeat the mistakes they made. And one of the things they will likely tell you is that life can be short, and you need to remember your dash. Linda Ellis wrote a poem that refers people to the dates that will mark their life and someday be on their tombstone. The first date is your birth, and the last is your death. But while those dates may be remembered by your loved ones, what really matters is the dash between those years. The dash represents all the time you will spend on Earth. It matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. Now that you are a college graduate or just earned that higher degree, think long and hard. Are there things you would like to change? For you never know how much time is left that you can still rearrange. If we could just slow down enough to consider what is true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we have never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, always remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, will you be proud of the things they say about how you spend your dash? Graduates of 2013, I challenge you to make the most of your dash. Work to make your communities, our nation, and the world a better place for everyone. Don't forget those who got you here today. And I congratulate all of you. May you use your UNCG degree to do something bigger altogether. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ledvac, for truly inspirational comments. At this time, it's my pleasure to recognize all degree candidates and authorize the Chancellor to confer those degrees. Speaking for the Board of Trustees of this university and acting under the delegation of powers by the Board of Governors of the University of North Carolina, I authorize you, Linda Brady, to confer appropriate degrees upon the candidates approved by the faculty.
Today, UNCG will award approximately 1,800 earned degrees in the following categories: 1,365 baccalaureate degrees, 391 master's degrees, 15 specialist in education degrees, and 67 doctoral degrees. 62 of these degrees were or will be awarded to international students who have tremendously enriched this university during their time with us. These figures represent students who received degrees in August, as well as those who are completing their degrees in December. We will now recognize our graduate degree candidates.
Dr. Laura Chesick, Associate Dean of the Graduate School, will now present the candidates for graduate degrees.
Will the candidates recommended for doctoral degrees please stand? Chancellor Brady, I have the honor to present and to recommend the candidates who have satisfied the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Education, Doctor of Musical Arts, or Doctor of Public Health.
Acting on the recommendation of the graduate faculty, as conveyed by Associate Dean Chesick, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the President of the University of North Carolina, I hereby confer the degree upon those of you who have met the requirements for the doctoral degree for which you have been recommended, with all of its rights, honors, and responsibilities. Congratulations, and please come forward to receive your diplomas. You will be hooded by your committee chair or co-chair.
Jacob Sebastian Babb, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Risa Applegarth. Rachel Marissa Campbell, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Roy Stein. Jasraj Vinayak Gramapadya, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Rich Bunch. Marjorie Elvin Foy, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Charles Bolton. Christopher Allen Graham, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Charles Bolton. Jennifer Mackler, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Susan Calkins. Molly Armistead Walsh, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Thomas Quappel. Holly M. Miskey, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Rosemary Nelson Gray. Jessica Benson, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Arthur Anastopoulos. Philip Martin Frank, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Kitichi Wachravesrinkan. Carolyn Wolfe, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. David Rebar. Greta Yvette Horton, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Christine Murray. Dana Marie Stachowiak, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Leila Villaverde. Kimberly Bernice Madrigal, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Leila Villaverde. Patty Lamb Self, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Leila Villaverde. Hope Wall Jackson, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Kathleen Casey. Joanna Sutherland Little, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Kathleen Casey. Xiao Lu, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Richard Lecht. Shinrei Wang, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Richard Lecht. Tanika C. Steed, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. John Wilsey. I. Kamei, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Judith Niemeyer. Summer Lynn Gainey Stanley, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. J. David Smith. Susan Cornwell Robbins, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. William Bursuck. Kendra M. Williamson Enriquez, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Stephanie Kurtz and Dr. William Bursuck. William Charles Woodward, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Deborah Taub. Christina Kelb O'Connor, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Barbara Levin. Ishan Sunil Kumar Bhatt, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Susan Phillips. Jennifer Mendoza Beasley, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Danielle Crosby. Jerry Wayne Laughlin, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Catherine Innes. Mark Bernhard Cryan, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Tom Martinek. Amanda Jo Treach, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Sandra Schultz. Stephen Fordahl, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Keith Erickson. Amber Ray Haroldson, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Lauren Haldeman. Courtney Ann Brown, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Beth Barba. Helen Fuller Spriggs, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Eileen Kohlenberg. Virginia Wise, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Eileen Kohlenberg. Deborah Ann Lacan, Doctor of Philosophy, to be hooded by Dr. Deborah Wallace. Deirdre Ann Dingman, Doctor of Public Health, to be co-hooded by Dr. Mark Schultz and Dr. Kelly Rulison. Holly Sinkowitz, Doctor of Public Health, to be hooded by Dr. Tracy Nichols. Robin Ann Finberg, Doctor of Education, to be hooded by Dr. Ulrich Reitzug. Rhonda Cox Schuler, Doctor of Education, to be hooded by Dr. Ulrich Reitzug. Teresa Ann Van Acker, Doctor of Education, to be hooded by Dr. Ulrich Reitzug. Kimberly Curtis Robertson, Doctor of Education, to be hooded by Dr. Craig Peck. Kelly Hales, Doctor of Education, to be hooded by Dr. Carl Lashley. Tina Marie Eberly Kissel, Doctor of Education, to be hooded by Dr. Carl Lashley. Norma Jean Hamlet Manis, Doctor of Education, to be hooded by Dr. Carl Lashley. Julie Allen Pack, Doctor of Education, to be hooded by Dr. Carl Lashley. Yvette Aurelia Stewart, Doctor of Education, to be hooded by Dr. Carl Lashley. Jonita Dunn Taylor, Doctor of Education, to be hooded by Dr. Carl Lashley. Benjamin Carl Blozan, Doctor of Musical Arts, to be hooded by Dr. James Douglas. Robert Allen Fobb, Doctor of Musical Arts, to be hooded by Dr. Gavin Douglas. Pamela Mays Kane, Doctor of Musical Arts, to be hooded by Dr. Andre Lash. Gizem Ugel, Doctor of Musical Arts, to be hooded by Dr. Scott Rawls.
Please join me in congratulating our new doctors. Will the candidates recommended to receive the Specialist in Education degree please stand and remain standing as your degree is recognized? Chancellor Brady, I have the honor to present and to recommend the candidates who have satisfied the requirements for the Specialist in Education degree.
Acting on the recommendation of the graduate faculty as conveyed by Associate Dean Chesick and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the President of the University of North Carolina, I hereby confer the degree upon those of you who have met the requirements for the degree for which you have been recommended, with all of its rights, honors, and responsibilities. Congratulations. Will you please come forward to receive your diplomas?
Caroline Ann McElveen. Anne Marie Roberts.
Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the Specialist in Education degree. This commencement marks a special moment as the University of North Carolina at Greensboro awards today the first Master of Fine Arts degree in Interior Architecture. Will the candidates recommended to receive this degree please stand and remain standing as your degree is recognized? Chancellor Brady, I have the honor to present and to recommend for the appropriate degree the candidates who have satisfied the requirements for the master's degree just cited.
Acting on the recommendation of the graduate faculty as conveyed by Associate Dean Chesick, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the President of the University of North Carolina, I hereby confer the degree upon those of you who have met the requirements for the master's degree for which you have been recommended, with all of its rights, honors, and responsibilities. Congratulations. Will the recipients of the Master of Fine Arts degree in Interior Architecture please come forward to receive your diplomas, and congratulations on being the first of many.
Claudia Aguilera Guardao. Lauren Postelmeyer. Please join me in congratulating our first recipients of the Master of Fine Arts degree in Interior Architecture. We will now recognize the remaining master's degree candidates. Will the candidates recommended to receive master's degrees Please stand as your school and degree are recognized and remain standing. Will the graduate degree candidates in the College of Arts and Sciences for the Master of Arts, Master of Education, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Public Affairs, or Master of Science please stand? Will the graduate degree candidates in the Joseph M. Bryan School of Business and Economics for the Master of Arts, Master of Science, or Master of Business Administration please stand? Will the graduate degree candidates in the School of Education for the Master of Education, Master of Library and Information Studies, Master of School Administration, or Master of Science please stand? Will the graduate degree candidates in the School of Health and Human Sciences for the Master of Arts, Master of Education, Master of Public Health, Master of Science, or Master of Science in Athletic Training please stand? Will the graduate degree candidates in the School of Music, Theater, and Dance for the Master of Arts, Master of Education, Master of Fine Arts, or Master of Music please stand? Will the graduate degree candidates in the School of Nursing for the Master of Science in Nursing please stand? Will the graduate degree candidates in the Division of Continual Learning for the Master of Arts degree please stand? Will the graduate degree candidates for the joint Master of Science in Nursing and Master of Business Administration please stand? Chancellor Brady, I have the honor to present and to recommend for the appropriate degree the candidates who have satisfied the requirements for the master's degrees just cited.
Acting on the recommendation of the graduate faculty as conveyed by Associate Dean Chesick and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the President of the University of North Carolina, I hereby confer the degree upon those of you who have met the requirements for the master's degree for which you have been recommended, with all of its rights, honors, and responsibilities. Congratulations, and will you please come forward to receive your diplomas.
Caroline Ann McElveen, Masters in Counseling. Anne Marie Roberts, Masters of Science Counseling. Naomi Chatterley, Master of Arts. Megan Walker Latta, Master of Arts. Heidi Gomez, Master of Arts. Desiree Shore, Master of Arts. Mary Estelle Vega, Master of Science. Mackenzie Smith, Master of Science. Nanasa Tuba Vinya Andre, Master of Science. Sweta Kashapagu, Master of Science. Laxmi Saujanya Vishabola, Master of Science. Gayatri Tulur, Master of Science. Swati Kota, Master of Science. Laxmi Sungara, Master of Science. Bradley Lynn, Master of Arts. Forrest Hamrick, Master of English. Rhonda Key Lemons, Master of Arts. Sunila Survey, Master of Science. Hatin Abu Mahfouz, Master of Science. Mohammed, Master of Science. Jeffrey Neil Whitworth, Master of Science. Elizabeth Marie Grubbs, Master of Science. Andre Thomas Lester, Master of Arts. Lee Ann Kincaid, Master of Public Science. Mary Margaret Hart, Master of Public Affairs. Amanda Louise Wise, Master of Public Affairs. John Prudenti, Master of Public Affairs. Ben Reeser, Master of Public Affairs. Jana Roshkowski, Master of Public Affairs. John Medlin, Master of Business Administration. Thomas Nesbitt, Master of Business Administration. Victor Anthony Nelson, concentration in marketing. Joshua Lewis, Master of Business Administration. Jacob Miller, Master of Business Administration. Brandon Prince, Master of Business Administration. Jonathan E. Danny's, Masters of Business Administration. Brent Simpson, Master of Business Administration. Ricardo Juan Patel, Master of Business Administration. Megan Towler, concentration in finance. Brian Kirett, Master of Business Administration. Matthew Scott, Master of Business Administration. Edmund Petrowski, Master of Business Administration. Daniel Finger, Master of Business Administration. Eugene Bunga, Master of Business Administration. Marcus Oakley, Master of Business Administration. Junyi Hu, Master of Science. Tiffany Temple, Master of Science. Brent Mullen, Master of Science. Aaron Smith, Master of Science. David Lawrence Friedrich, Master of Arts. Alicia DeCulo, Master of Arts. Alan Bornowski, Master of Arts. Jessica Lena Gregory, Master of Science. Grady Elliott II, Master of Science. Elizabeth Joy Holtz, Master of Science. Olivia Ukwao Minta, Master of Science. Gian Zhao, Master of Science. Couture Nicole Parker, Master of Science. Ashley Wicklesworth, sorry, Master of Science. Maya Ella Gorsiu, Master of Science. Bin Min Wing, Master of Science. Patricia Weekly, Master of Science. Whitney A. Idle, Master of Education. Megan Simpson, Master of Education. Meredith Ashley Smith, Master of Education. Blair Baxter, Master of Education. Amy Rogers, Master of Education. Sandy Barker Whitehead, Master of Education. William Urena Blanco, Master of Education. Alicia Schaup, Master of Education. Leslie Wilkie, Master of Education. Dana Porch Kennedy, Master of Education. Nina Edie, Master of Education. Holly Beck, Master of Education. Stephanie Dawn Hornback, Master of Education. Mary Margaret Dark, Master of Education. Mary Kate Webster, Master of Education. Carrie Brown Smith, Master of Education. Jessica Taylor Walker, Master of Education. Susan Smith Hudson, Master of Education. Stephen Thornton, Master of Education. Heidi Sue Gaines, Master of Education. Wendy Joyce Kabler, Master of Education. Victoria Mazur, Master of Education. Gina Hassie Moody, Master of Education. Megan Michelle Parker, Master of Education. Marie Tibau, Master of Education. Tara Hill, Master of Education. Sarah Michelle Cornett, Master of Education. Megan Helms, Master of Education. Stephanie Wall, Master of Education. Kashana Askew, Master of Science. Catherine Ciccarelli, Master of Science. Christine Mayer, Master of Science. Jonathan D. Rollins III, Master of Science. Amy Joyce Wicker, Master of Education. Shanna Knight Good, Master of Education. Cheryl Love Rocks, Master of Education. Michelle Renee McCullough, Master of Education. Philip Wayne Smith, Master of Education. Martha York Ray, Master of Education. Kristen K. Bowles, Master of Education. Stacy Brooke Korn, Master of Education. Natasha Dawn Fry, Master of Education. Angel Niece Minor, Master of Education. Lindsay Page Averett, Master of Education. Nicoy DaCosta, Master of Education. Don Harris, Master of Education. Kenyetta Ridley, Master of Education. Sean Wiesner, Master of Education. Natalie Mason, Master of Education. Miranda Jones, Master of Education. Benjamin Winston Sims, Master of Education. Sarah Catherine Mooney, Masters of Library and Information Studies. Susan Lee Skipper, Masters in Library and Information Studies. Brianna Carlisle Benson, Master in Library and Information Studies. Kim Wagner, Masters of Administration. Amelia Black, Master of Arts. Saudamine Shankar, Master of Arts. Meg Ellen Anderson, Master of Music. Alexander Grace Sims, Master of Music. Josh Morgan, Master of Music. John Henry Corey III, Master of Music. Curtis Cotton III, Master of Music. Annalisa Chi Chang, Master of Music. Catherine Main Perkison, Master of Music. Sarah Elizabeth Combs, Master of Music. Sarah Hampton Rochelle, Master of Music. Jennifer Lynn Bedingfield, Master of Music. Aria Marie Westbrook, Master of Music. Sarah Love Taylor, Master of Music. Leslie Dumais, Master of Music. Matthew Reese, Master of Music. Justin Hughes Johnson, Master of Music. Stephen Mitchell, Master of Music. Nicole Baker, Master of Science in Nursing. Levicia Morris Jita, Master of Science in Nursing. Isla Mapp, Master of Science in Nursing. Rebecca Owens, Master of Science in Nursing. Kelly Dietzen, Master of Business Administration, Master of Science. Alicia Cornell, Master of Science. Charlotte Chen, Master of Science. LaShonda Barnett, Master of Science. Felicia Denise James, Master of Science. Angela Boone, Master of Science. Laura Davis, Master of Science. Stephanie Page Fargo, Master of Science. Jessica Woody Rutledge, Master of Science. Penny Powell, Master of Science. Rhonda W. Lucas, Master of Science. Lauren Kendra McRae, Master of Science. Valerie Lavoie, Master of Science. Katie Ann Scott, Master of Science. Rachel Hazelwood Heiler, Master of Science. Shannon Hyatt Leach, Master of Science. Virginia Johnson Cummings, Master of Arts. Jennifer Lynn Shockley, Master of Arts. Colin Tavolici, Master of Arts. Fidel Goldson, Master of Arts. Elizabeth Betsy Lerna, Master of Arts.
Please join me in congratulating all of the recipients of master's degrees. Let me now ask the doctoral specialist in education degree candidates, along with the master's degree recipients, to please stand. All of our graduate degree recipients, please stand. Congratulations to each of you for your outstanding achievements. Please be seated. We will now recognize our baccalaureate degree candidates.
Will all candidates for the baccalaureate degree please rise? Chancellor Brady, I have the honor to present and to recommend for the appropriate degree these candidates who have satisfied all of the requirements for the baccalaureate degree.
Acting on the recommendation of the faculty as conveyed by Provost Perrin, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the President of the University of North Carolina, I hereby confer the degree upon those of you who have met the requirements for the bachelor's degree for which you have been recommended, with all of its rights, honors, and responsibilities. Congratulations to all of you. And may I ask all of you to be seated until your school or college is called forward.
Dr. Timothy Johnston, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, will present the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees from the college.
Will the baccalaureate degree candidates with majors in the College of Arts and Sciences recommended to receive the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Science, or Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology, please stand and come forward to receive your diplomas.
Matthew Christopher Adams. Julia Carol Alexander. Catherine Grace Allison. David Robert Andrews. Alexa Taylor Annas. Elizabeth Ann Ashley. Mallory Elaine Atkins. Mariam Atta. Ashley Ann Barnes. Catherine Diana Barnes. Brittany Nicole Bellinger. Justin Bennett. Jenna Maria Elise Barasa. Ryland Brent Bishop. Carly Stewart Blake. Ashley Drew Bowling. Brian Christopher Bond. Alicia Michelle Boswell. Nakia Shanae Boyd. Cassandra Shannon Bradfield. Joel Cashin Branch. Joshua Robert Braswell. Laura Marie Brewer. Michelle Lee Broadnax. Amanda J. Brooks. Lillian Delano Brown. Beverly Denise Brownlee. Paola Catherine Burgos. Catherine Lorraine Burnham. Rashad Stephen Burris. Megan Danielle Bird. Clarissa Amanda Campos. Rosalind Christine Cannon. Corey David Cantalupi. James Zachary Capes. Jessica Ann Carr. Christina L. Chai Chong. Rachel Elise Chamberlain. Deandra Brittany Cherry. Samantha Marie Cherry. Colton Lee Childers. Juan Lok Choi. Catherine Elizabeth Church. Chelsea de Jesus Chelo Bermudez. Roy Allen Colley. Corrine Francis Collinson. Stephen Michael Comer. Angela Patricia Cook. Catherine Lee Cook. Kevin Andrew Cothran. Gary Jonathan Covey. David Lee Crisp. Megan E. Crockett. Christina D'Agostino. Bhaktiben Anal Dave. Harrison Maurice Davis. Joshua Milan Davis. Marcy Letitia Dawson. Philip Justin Dawson. Rita Ariel Deere. Andrew Vance Dearman. Anna Elizabeth Batista. Andrew Hiran Depp. Rima Dilip Kumar Desai. Andrew William Deschler. Kelly M. Donovan. Michael George Dunn. Laura Kathleen White Eckel. Jeffrey Lucas Eldridge. Emily Ann Elliott. Matthew Logan Ellis. Shannon Elizabeth Evans. Samuel Peter Faunrich. Ashley Renee Farrar. Jasmine Danielle Felder. Bradley Mark Forns. Laura Elizabeth France. Sarah Frederick. Nathaniel A. Funkhauser. Olivia N. Harper. Travis James Gore. Camilo Grazia Barco. Morris Justin Graves. Caitlin Ann Grindall. Eric Charles Grissett, Jr. John P. Groves. Emilia Gross Grubbs. Kyle Carlos Gutierrez. Jordan Harrison Gwynn. Mary Hannah Haley. Kayla Marie Hall. Paige E. Harden. Cameron Rain Harmon. Andrew Thomas Harris. Jeffrey Allen Harris. Kirby Charles Hawkins. Brittany Renee Hayes. Christopher J. Henry. Erica Michelle Herndon. Young Kim Herrera. Alan Herrera Amador. Catherine Joy Hessman. Laura D. Heberts. Elizabeth Margaret Hill. Daphne Jeanette Hines. Leslie Lauren Hollowell. Michael John Kolinak. Virginia R. Hughes. Jade Kristen Perry Hunter. Taylor Reed Hunter. Chastity Leanne Hutto. Michael Craig Ivy. Kayla D. Jackson. David Jimenez. Morgan Renee Jewels. Amanda R. Johnson. Tyrone Craig Johnson, Jr. Allison Sharina Jones. Quatilia Dishaw Jones. Morgan Christine Evelyn Joyce. Katya Noalny Kakalionumi. Luke F. Kaiser. Michelle Brianne Kivett. Ryan D. Kurzek. Michael Bryant Lafferty. Kevin Douglas Lottie. Robert Chad Langley. Onario Lara, Jr. Jordan Antoinette Lawrence. Alexandra Catherine Lebby. Chuck Lee. Mary Catherine Lee. Tangela Artrice Leggett. Laricia Renee Little. Megan Elizabeth Locklear. Jillian Michaela Long. Ava Marie Richardson. Paris Alicia Love. Amanda Brooke Loudermilk. Gregory William Lowry. Josette Tambula Mangala. Alexis Mariani. Cameron Kelly Marks. Casey Renee Marshall. Lauren Marie Martyr. Justine Angela Martin. Tracy Bartholomew Matthews. Taylor Andrew McAllister. Catherine Ann McCain. Ashley Ruth McGee. Christina Marisol McIntyre Ayala. Andrew Stephen McKillican. Karis Trinice McCoy. Tabitha Melody McLaughlin. Ariel Tatiana McLean. Cherie Ladisha McRae. Jonathan David Malo. Shannon Farrell Melrose. Christina Lynn Merrill. David N. Merrill. Dawn Annette Miller. Jasmine Nicole Miller. Michael Scott Minervini. Leila Maria Miranda. Anil Modali. Andrea Christine Moore. Eric Moore. Kelly Simone Moore. Rachel Carson Moore. Blake Edward Morgan. Da Mu. Kara Mugraj. Herman Mugai. Melanie J. Myers. Kevin D. Nance. Tunuit T. Wynn. Lauren Marie Nichols. Kristen Moyer Nicholson. Jonah Benjamin Nikoye. Bridget Wall Knoll. Donai Kiran. Daniel Danae Owens. Lauren Rachel Pascal. Laura Lynn Pate. Deepti Podell. Andrew C. Payne. Amanda Louise Perry. William Andrew Phillips. Kelsey Marie Pitts. Jacob Leland Place. Bryant Holland Poindexter. Derek Pugh. Sydney A. Pugh. Emma Catherine Radford. Kristen Kayla Ramsey. Sammy Rana. Sondis Raymond. Javier Alejandro Rengel Parrish. Robin Arturo Reyes. Christopher James Rezonico. Julie A. Rilling. Philip Brian Rowe. Elizabeth Ann Rose. David Michael Ross. Tara Ashley Rutledge. Brianna Salcido. Pimason Sampson. Tracy Michelle Samsel. Kirati Satyunkul. Jennifer Elizabeth Schermeyer. Gregory Michael Scott. Danielle Sheehan. Angela Ruth Sheets. Miranda Renee Sherman. Amanda Lynn Sharon. Candice Michelle Sills. Sheila Louise Smiley. Courtney Ann Smith. Sarah G. Smither. Brady Edward Snuggs. Kelly Morgan Stanley. Monique Steed. Parker Elliott Steele. Christopher Albert Stella. Derek Robert Stone. Catherine Swarm. Faith Leila Swartzwelder. Brad Che Tarnowski. David M. Robertson. Robert Allen Tatum. Stacy Renee Taylor. Brian Taituru Teora. Kristen Thalia Thomas. Lauren Elizabeth Thomas. Lucinda Ruth Thomas. Sherman Ray Thomas, Jr. Brittany N. Thompson. Michelle Marie Thompson. Brianna Lynn Tiffany. Nathan Tong. Deandra Vanessa Torrain. Aaron Edward Turner. Karen Paola Vallichulo Pereira. Kia Deanna Vaughn. Kelly Trishelle Vogel Dye. Mickey Yvonne Volk. Lauren Simone Walker. Ashley Gray Wall. Thomas John Walters. Rebecca M. Wells. Alyssa Dion Wharton. Leandra Mercedes Wheeler. Jasmine Ariel White. Kaylee Michelle Whitesell. Rachel Elizabeth Wilder. Stephen Mark Wilkins. Valletta Yvette Williams. Dana Renita Williamson. Amanda N. Wilson. Caitlin Alyssa Wilson. Janet Muntaveen Wimbush. Carolyn P. Xavier. David Bradley Zick. Emily Zielinski. Chelsea Ann Zipperer. John Paul S. Zita. Kimberly Marie Zorn. Dennis Redmond. Jackson Lee Smith. Philip Short. Christine Amanda Wilson. Anastasia Falla. Aaron E. Trammell. Myquetta Wright.
Please join me in congratulating the baccalaureate degree candidates from the College of Arts and Sciences. Congratulations. Please be seated. Dr. Mac Banks, Dean of the Joseph M. Bryan School of Business and Economics, will present the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees from the Bryan School.
Will the candidates with majors in the Joseph M. Bryan School of Business and Economics recommended to receive the degrees of Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science please stand and come forward and receive your diplomas?
Hayan Adrong. Deborah Osley Allison. Robert Stephen Amandeo. Rachel Joylyn Anderson. Thomas Armstrong Anderson. Kevin Aurora. Jessica McAdams Baldwin. Dana Elizabeth Baracino. Crystal Haya Benson. Gregory Bates. Thurman Battle Jr. Christina A. Beatty. Sandy Marie Bell Woods. Michael Jacob Bennett. Priya Girish Bhagat. Ryan Lee Blakely. Stan Shelton Blinson. Alec Brooks Boyd. Shelby Ray Brintnall. Kevin Silas Campbell. Dominique Louise Carelli. William Cody Carpenter. Crystal Renee Carter. William Andrew Carter, Jr., Jordan Denard Sentry, Audrey Olivia Chambley, Eric Gilbert Chandler, Matthew Christopher Chapman, Spencer Olivia Childress, Ruth Ann Chu, Melissa Ann Collier, Andrew Tyler Kanatza, Brittany Lachey Cox, Emily Taylor Cox, Byron Kratel, Vesna Zvejetskovich, Jessica Noel Daniel, Emily Elaine Davis, Morgan Temperis Dewberry, Katie Elizabeth Delitza, Teresa Ann Deppeschmidt, Christopher Alexander Duvall, Stephen Eric Devane, Demorius Dixon, Clifton Dawns, Monisha Elliott, Shania Gabrielle Ingle, Tony Ennis, Victoria Fall, Blair Alexander Fuel, Jody Diane Flinchum, Thomas John Frank, Lauren Gallardi, Zach Richard Garner, Daniel Gatto, Christopher Green, Jocelyn Griffin, James Hassa, Amy Ham, Steve Harris, Craig Heine, Ileana Hernandez, Melissa Jade Herrera, Valencia Hill, Robert Hodges, Herman Hudson III, Cody Hughes, Isaiah Eugene Hyman, John Christopher Irving, Jerry Douglas Isley III, Emily Johns, Andrew Jason Jones, Carrie Louise Joseph, Anton J. Ray Justed, Andrew R. Carr, Jawad Javeed Khan, Kotan Kotan, Evelyn Larios, Brent Laverty, Lori Lexner, Tracy Lesane, Jocelyn Lewis, Kirsten Lilly, Monica Nicole Lilly, Bethany Long, Ann Beth Lubarski, Jeffrey Lusk, Lauren McDermott, Larry Maines, Emil Manley, Jason Marshall, Kendra McCullum, James McQuire, Gary McDonald Jr., Brittany McKenzie, Cedric McCoy, Noah McMichael, Jessica Middleton, Lanice Miller, Darrell Molyneux, Jacqueline Moody, Andrea Moore, Frangela Morales, James Morrison III, Sandrine Abby Nelson, Latu Nugan, Charlene Nicholson, Brittany Noble, Thomas Amoka, Jordan Oldenkamp, Ricky O'Neill, Amanda Onwuka, Vitus Onyekawu, Awusu Gabriel, Lauren Pare, Tal Pascal, Sean Pearson, Robert Peake Jr., Felix Pesci, Mary Farr, Victoria Phillips, Alexis Plummer, Joshua Plimer, Terrence Point, Kevin Porter, Samuel Price, Michael Polis, Aaron Redmond, Wilson Reed, Sarah Rodke, Andrew Rowe, Daniel Russell, Pamela Schwartz, Kevin Scott, Jordan Settle, Tamir Shemesh, Whitney Simmons, Kevin Sims, David Sladen, Anthony Smith, Kenneth Smith, Nicole Smith, Lorena Soltis, Tori Donta Stockton, Brittany Sermons, Courtney Taylor, Taylor Thompson, Timothy Thompson, Christopher Toten, Madeline Troxel Ellis, Andrew Van Loen, Otto Vides, Lynn Kivu, Joel Walker, Mark Warren, Carrie Watley, Nathan White, Octavius Wilson, John Young Jr., Matthew Yutz, Tamara Yao, Bradley James Garrett, Latimer Spasso, Elicio Yanes, Jordan Picardo, Nasa Abdul Al-Natsi. They're up.
Please join me in congratulating the baccalaureate degree candidates from the School of Business and Economics. Congratulations, please be seated. Dr. Karen Wixon, Dean of the School of Education, will present the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees from the School of Education.
Will the candidates in the School of Education recommended to receive the degree of Bachelor of Science please stand and come forward to receive your diplomas?
Rebecca Elise Brown, Catherine Amanda Davis, Vanessa Evans, Kayla Froelich, Jennifer Green, Jessica Hova, Anna Jacobs, Emma Laham, Megan Latter, Jacqueline McLean, Carrie McLaughlin, Rhonda Walker, Madeline Walters, Lori Wilson, Shanae Witherspoon, Vandra Wright.
Please join me in congratulating the baccalaureate degree candidates from the School of Education. Congratulations, please be seated. Dr. Celia Hooper, Dean of the School of Health and Human Sciences, will present the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees from the School of Health and Human Sciences.
Will the candidates with majors in the School of Health and Human Sciences recommended to receive the degrees of Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Social Work please stand and come forward to receive your diplomas?
Linda Alexander, Megan Baker, Denisha Barnes, Erica Barr, Jacqueline Bowers, Lauren Brady, Alexandria Brennan, Cynthia Brooks, Tanya Bryant, Gazelle Cabrera, Carol Cavalera, Shannon Chapman, Smith Chipley, Christian Cook. Kayla Cook. Tosca Cooper. Aquila Reed. Shanda Cox. Carolyn Craig. Haley Cullen. Marsha Collins. Arana Cummings. Victoria Daly. Margarita Dancusa. Shanika Davis. Christina Davis. Faith Davis. Darius Dawkins. Shreto Jurek. Catherine Ellen Wood. Christy Emerson. Morgan English. Jessica Faison. Jessica Fields. Brittany Fink. Bonnie Fioretti. Tiffany Fleming. Nakara Fogel. Taylor Ford. Tiffany Ford. Cheryl Fowler. Dwayne Fullard. Artemio Garcia. Kanisha Garrett. Kayla Gilbert. Devin Gower. Rachel Griffin. Melanie Grumio. Justin Hammock. Steve Pinghang. David Harrison. Kier Hawkins. Jennifer Hazelwood. Ashley Holland. Brittany Horenstein. Olivia Humphreys. Shantae Ingram. Dominique Jackson. Kiri Jefferson. Chloe Johnson. Ashley Kale. Amber King. Elizabeth King. Brianna Kitchell. Ashley Kizzy. Jessica Land. Matthew Landon. Stephanie Lee. Anna Ruth Litsky. Lauren Lockaby. Lisa Marshall. Chanel Martin. Carolyn Mayers. Candy McNeil. Candice Miller. London Miller. Morgan Montpelier. Kayla Moore. Raven Moore. Randy Moorhead. Latisha Nelson. Brooklyn Janae Pinnell. Ashley Panzer. Ashley Parker. Simone Parker. Jerisa Marie Patrick. Douglas Patton, Deonna Pearson, Candace Perkins, Rachel Pitersky, Kevin Prunist, Kiana Desiree, Brandon Richardson, Jamie Robinette, Kiara Robinson, Summer Robinson, Zane Robinson, Cedric Roof, Michael Chalanik Jr., Jalisa Sanders, Michael Santisteban, Nicholas Savovic, Danielle Sharable, Corinne Shepard, Jessica Sigmund, Crystal Edwards, Quentin Spinks, Jennifer Stewart, Coffee Stitt, Selena Tate, Christopher Terry, Aaron Terry, Antiqua Thurston, Michael Toller, Chelsea Tisinga, Natasha Tyson, Raina Tyson, Kia Vaughn, Samantha Visnev, Anna Wedding, Kayla Whitney, Lauren Williams, Shantez Latrice Williams, Samantha Warwick, Jasmine Young, Linda Young, Tiana Young, Devin Ziegler, Brian Graham, Shannon Little, Allison Perry, Elizabeth Curitan, Tobichiku Onyeriuku, Dwight David Williams, Jr.
Please join me in congratulating the baccalaureate degree candidates from the School of Health and Human Sciences. Congratulations, please be seated. Dr. Peter Alexander, Dean of the School of Music, Theater, and Dance, will present the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees from the School of Music, Theater, and Dance.
Will the candidates in the School of Music, Theater, and Dance recommended to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, or Bachelor of Music please stand and come forward to receive your diplomas?
Lodge. Catherine Kerr. Marion Josie. Emily Ingle. Stephen Hurst. Lauren Gibbs. Brealyn Gales. Tricia Cohen. Katie Clark. Megan Christie. Naomi Bate. Jathan Pugh. Ethan Price. Jacob Phillips. Jennifer Neese. Abigail Miller. Mary Elizabeth McNeil. James McLean. Ian Mayton. Christopher Mayo. Nathan Martin. Ariel Magno. David Boyd. Catherine Cornwell Magargu. Kirby Treadway. Matthew Douglas Serpinat. Catherine Reinleap.
Please join me in congratulating the baccalaureate degree candidates from the School of Music, Theater, and Dance. Congratulations, please be seated. Dr. Robin Remsberg, Dean of the School of Nursing, will present the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees from the School of Nursing.
Will the candidates in the School of Nursing recommended to receive the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing please stand and come forward to receive your degrees?
Courtney Page Yates. Anna Josephine Welch. Danielle Lorraine Simpson. Angela Lovinggood Robertson. Heather Michelle Lawson.
Linda. Please join me in congratulating the baccalaureate degree candidates in the School of Nursing.
Congratulations to all of you. Will all the recipients of baccalaureate degrees please stand for the turning of the tassel?
We have come now to that long-awaited milestone in our lives, the moment when we are no longer students, but graduates of the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. Tradition requires that before graduation, the tassel be worn on the right-hand side of the mortarboard. After graduation, as a symbol of our new status as degree holders, the tassel is worn on the left. As representative of your December class of 2013, I am privileged to lead you in turning our tassels from right to left, signifying our status as graduates of UNCG. Please join me in turning our tassels. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the December class of 2013. Please be seated. In continuing to recognize excellence at our university, I would like to acknowledge the undergraduate students who have graduated with special honors today. These honors are summa cum laude, which requires a minimum grade point average of 3.9, magna cum laude, which requires a minimum grade point average of 3.7, and cum laude, which requires a minimum grade point average of 3.5. Will the graduates please stand as I call your honor designation and remain standing while we recognize your achievements. Summa cum laude. Magna cum laude. Cum laude. You have brought distinction to yourselves and your university through your high achievements. Congratulations. Please be seated. The university's Disciplinary Honors Program offers undergraduates the opportunity to complete a rigorous plan of study that complements the work they do in their majors. The capstone of their honors work is the Senior Honors Project, a project of independent scholarship similar to a master's degree thesis. The students who completed an honors program this year and the titles of their senior honors projects are listed in today's commencement program. Would you please stand and let us recognize you? Congratulations. Please be seated. Even as we enjoy today's celebration of accomplishments, we remain mindful of the importance of the military in defending our freedoms. Today, we are proud to recognize 3 degree candidates who are scheduled to be commissioned as second lieutenants in the United States Armed Forces. Please stand as I call your names. Mark A. Goodwin and Taylor A. McAllister, United States Air Force. Michael W. Murray, United States Army. Thank you for all you do for your country. We would also like to recognize all of our degree candidates who have served our country in the armed forces. Please stand and let us recognize you. Thank you. Please be seated.
Before we conclude today, I would like to recognize some very important guests who are with us today. Would you please stand and remain standing as we recognize you? First, the parents of all of our graduates, would you please stand? I see a lot of smiling faces out there. May I also ask grandparents, spouses, partners, children, and friends of the graduates to also stand. We know that all of you have been instrumental in the success of all of these students today, and we're so happy that you could join us for this celebration. I now would like to recognize the faculty of UNCG. Would you please stand so our graduates can express their appreciation for all you have done to bring them to this milestone. Let us also take a moment to acknowledge the participation of the following student groups in today's ceremony. First, the University Marshals provide leadership throughout the year and are integral to this commencement ceremony. Will the University Marshals please stand? Thank you. The commencement brass and soloists provided the beautiful music today. They are selected from our nationally recognized School of Music, Theater, and Dance. Please thank the commencement brass. In addition, graduating seniors from the Professions in Deafness program in the School of Education provided interpretation of the two songs in the ceremony. Let's also thank them. As we bring this program to a close, let me encourage our new graduates to remain in contact. Stay connected to us. As new alumni of UNCG, you become part of one great unbroken band of more than 100,000 alumni that stretches back to the founding of this university in 1891. Please stay in touch with us. Let us know of your successes. Help us identify prospective students who will appreciate and benefit from the kind of enriching experiences you have had at UNCG. Advocate in your communities for the importance of public higher education and continue the habit of giving back to others, here or in the communities in which you will live. Congratulations. As is our tradition, the University Bell will be rung to honor these graduates. Today's bell ringers are Mrs. Patricia Contz West, class of 1963, and Miss Anna Batista, December class of 2013. Following the ringing of the bell, please be seated and remain seated during the recessional until the faculty and graduates have moved out of the Coliseum. Now, will everyone please stand for the singing of the alma mater and remain standing for the bell ringing. Thank you.
We raise our voices, let them swell in a chorus loud and strong. The rolling hills send back the sound of our triumphant song. For in one great unbroken band, with loyal hearts and true, your sons and daughters stand and sing university to you.